Hi everyone, hope all of you are doing well. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a contingency table and a joint probability table for this question to answer the probability questions posted here. Question says a bike manufacturer receives notifications whenever a bike malfunctions, categorizing the issue as either mechanical or electrical. So for any bike, there are two kinds of problem. It can be mechanical or electrical. Then the company assigns the bike to the plant where it was built. So in this data table, we have a random selection of 150 breakdown incidents. And there are some probability questions. For example, question says, what is the probability a bike was built at Lincoln? So to answer these probability questions, I'm going to make a contingency table for this data table. I'm going to make the contingency table by using pivot table, and then I'm going to convert my contingency table to a joint probability table to answer the questions we have here. So to make the contingency table, to summarize the data in a contingency table, first I'm going to select the data, shift control down, then insert pivot table from table range. I prefer to have the pivot table here in the same worksheet, for example here, and then OK. Now to make the contingency table, I'm going to drag the plant down under the rows. I'm going to drag the problem under the column, and it doesn't matter, drag one of them under the values. Look at here. Now I have a contingency table. I made that by using a pivot table. So I have summarized my 150 data based on their characteristics, mechanical, electrical, Lincoln, Tyler, in a contingency table. Now to find the joint probabilities, so I'm going to make some copies from this table. Control C. Look at here, I'm going to convert the first contingency table to a joint probability table to answer the questions we have here. To convert this contingency table to a joint probability table, just right click in the table, show value as percent of grand total. Now I have a joint probability table. Look at here, 14.67%. It's the probability that a bike has an electrical problem and it was built at Lincoln plant. 20% is the probability that a bike was built in Lincoln and it has a mechanical problem. 30.67% is the probability that a bike has an electrical problem and it was built in Tyler plant. And 34.67% is the joint probability. It means it's the probability that a bike has a mechanical problem and it was built in Tyler plant. Also, we have marginal probabilities. It's P of Lincoln, probability that a bike was built in Lincoln plant. It's the probability that a randomly selected bike was built in Tyler plant. What about this number? 45.33%. It's the probability that a randomly selected bike has an electrical problem. And 54.67% is the probability of mechanical. It's the probability that a randomly selected bike has a mechanical problem. So it's a joint probability. Now, by using this joint probability table, I'm going to answer this question. Look at the first question. Question says, what is the probability that a bike was built at Lincoln? It's probability of Lincoln. So 34, I need to look at the marginal probability for Lincoln. 34.67%. It's P of Lincoln. So I'm going to copy and paste that here. It's P of Lincoln. Look at the second question. What is the probability that a bike malfunction was due to an electrical problem. I'm looking for P of electrical. Just I need to look at the marginal probability of electrical. Which one? This one, 45.33%. Control C, Control V. It's P of electrical problem. Third question. What is the probability that the bike built at Tyler plant and it had a mechanical problem? Look at it, it's a joint probability and. So I'm looking for probability of Tyler and mechanical. Just I need to look at the table. In the table, probability of Tyler and mechanical, this number, 34.67%, joint probability. So Control C, Control V. Now look at the last part of the question. To answer the last part of the question, we have a conditional probability in this question. Question says, if a bike was built at Lincoln plant, what is the probability that the malfunction was an electrical problem? Look at here in this question, in the last question, I'm looking for P of electrical if or given Lincoln. If the bike was built at Lincoln. So to find this probability, you can use the formula. What is the formula? P of conditional. I need to divide the joint probability for electrical and Lincoln divided by P of Lincoln. It's one method. So here I'm gonna divide the joint probability for electrical and Lincoln. How much is that? Joint probability of electrical and Lincoln, this number. I'm gonna divide that by P of Lincoln. How much is P of Lincoln? 34.67% in there. So its probability that the malfunction was due to an electrical problem if the bike was built at the Lincoln plant. It's one method to find the probability, to find this probability. Another method to find the same number, 0.423077, is to make a conditional probability from the contingency table. Look at it, it's the same contingency table I made at the beginning. Now I'm going to convert that to a conditional probability. How? Because I'm looking for P of electrical. Given Lincoln, and Lincoln is the first row, I'm going to right click in the table, show value as percent of row total. Because Lincoln is the first row. The plants are rows, okay? Now look at here. I have the conditional probability. The first number, 42.31%, is P of electrical given Lincoln. The same number I got here. Okay, so another method to find the same probability is converting the contingency table to a conditional probability based on the rows. Okay, so look at here. Same number, P of electrical problem. If the bike was built at Lincoln plant is 42.31%, same number. It's the same, it's the number I got by the joint probability, it's the number I got by conditional probability table I made here. Okay, so for example, this number 57.69%. This number is P of mechanical if the bike was built in Lincoln plant. What about 46.94%? 46.94% is the probability of electrical if the bike was built in Tyler plant. 53.06% is the probability that the malfunction was due to an mechanical problem if the bike was built at Tyler. So, but what about this question? If question asks me, what is the probability that a bike was built in Tyler given or if it has a mechanical it has a mechanical problem. What about this probability? Look at here, I'm looking for P of Tyler given mechanical. It's the probability that the bike was built at the Tyler plant if it has a mechanical problem. So look at the contingency table. Electrical and mechanical are column of this table. So now I need to convert this table to a conditional probability table, but based on columns. How? So just right click here, show value as percent of column total. Now look at here, I have made the conditional probabilities based on the columns. Okay, now it's the probability of Tyler given mechanical. This number is probability 36.59%. It's the probability of Lincoln given mechanical. 32.35%. It's the probability of Lincoln if the problem is electrical problem. 32.35%. It's the probability that the bike was built at Lincoln if it has an electrical problem. And what about this number? 67.65%. It's the probability that the bike was built at Tyler plant if it has an electrical problem. Look at it, you can find the same number also by using the joint probability table. So another method, I can find the same number, 63.41%, by using the joint probability table. Just I need to divide P of Tyler and mechanical. How much is P of Tyler and mechanical? 34.67%. Just I need to divide that by P of mechanical. This one, 54.67%. And then enter. Look at it, we get the same number. If you convert this number to a percent with more decimals, you get exactly the same number. Look at this question. Here I have a contingency table, and without using pivot table, I'm going to make a joint probability table for this question. To make a joint probability table for this contingency table, first I look at the table, I don't have the totals. So I need to find the totals first. Okay, and also totals here. So to find the totals in a contingency table, I need to find the sum for each row. Okay, for the first row. Then I'm going to copy that for the other rows. Okay, now I'm going to find the sum for each column also. And then I'm going to copy that for the other columns. Now look at here. I have a contingency table. I added the totals. Now I'm going to make a copy from this one to make the joint probabilities. So to find the joint probability, I'm going to delete the numbers in the table. Okay, so here I'm going to type, I'm going to divide all the numbers in the table divided by 1348 and then enter. Look at here. Now I have a joint probability for this contingency table. If question asks me how much is P of A and under 30, if the days overdue is under 30 days, so that probability would be 0.09273. They are joint probability. I made a joint probability table by using this contingency table.